Cheers, sponsor Louis Nishma Sabi Akushalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding in Metzia Daf Chobeis. We're in the middle of the sugya of Yushal Midas. We started yesterday. We're going to be starting at Chofav on base in the last line. The word says Toshva. In the middle of being riot, we have Machlekes Abaye Rova. Yushal Midas. Yush, that the owner did not give up hope yet, but we know he will give up hope eventually. So then the din is Abaye says not a Yush, Rova says it's a Yush. Says there is a thief stole from one person, given to another person. Gazlon does it in front of everybody. He took it from one to another. So Yarden means a river. Rashi says also other rivers can be the same way. Discussion we're showing we talk about, but the river is talking about that it spread out and took out things into the river. So you say it's given. Why? Yush works. The Gazlon or the Yarden. Then they see him and they're Misyash, so that's what it is. What causes by Gano? Nobody sees it. Right? It's stolen, you don't know about it. So right? We're talking about they did see him because we're talking about an armed robber who came with a gun. I know Gazlon, that's a Gazlon. So you guys, we learned Bava Kama a few times, 2 types of Ganos. The Gazlon is a Gazlon who caused Mamash Bigoli, and the Gazlon was hiding but he has a gun. Toshva Shotav Nor Koirov Eitzos Vavonov. So came a river and washed out his beams, his wood, his stones, and moved it to the field of his friend. The owner is Misyash, gives up hope, so it belongs to the new guy. Time is Mashra over here that we know clearly there was a Yush. Hastam, if you don't know anything, loy. So even though you have a Yush Midas, you know that eventually will be Misyash, you still don't see the Yush, right? So talk about a case that the owner could save it. If the owner is running after it, so you have to give it back. Why have to say they're running after it? They're able to save it, so they're not Misyash. So they could save it, but they have to put a lot of effort into it. Rashi says if they won't put the effort, they will not be able to save it. It's going in the river, they have to jump in and swim in and get it. If not, it's going to be gone. So you have to do a big effort. So Miratfim, if they're running after Lo Yash, they're not Mizash. Miratfim, Yushim Yash, they're Miyash. The case of a Lamidas, there's a Truma without Das. What is the case? So says the Gemara, we had also Kiddushin. Person goes into the field of his friend and he does Truma without the permission of the friend. If the friend is, if you chayshish they did something wrong, ain't Truma, that's not true. If he's not chayshish did something wrong, Truma is true. How do you know? How do you know? So the Gemara, so he comes, the owner says, he tells him, he says, what? Go to the better fruits. Go to the better fruits. If you find better fruits, so he's serious. He says, you're giving a truma, why don't you give him the better fruits? If he doesn't find better fruits, so he's not serious, he's cynical. He's basically saying, why don't you take the better fruits? Like this, you took the best ones. Ain't you wants a truma. So basically, it depends how the Bava says. The owner is joined in and they added to the truma. Then the truma is true. If you're saying that you find better fruits, then it's a good truma. Why is it? How does the owner doesn't know that the guy did the truma? So afterwards, he retroactively agreed to it. That's like a Yushlo Midas. Afterwards, he found out about it. So the one no. Rava explains according to Abaye, the Shavye Shliach. We talk about that he didn't go in without permission. He made him a shliach to be the one doing the truma. He knows he's doing the truma. So what was the problem that he did? He didn't do exactly the fruits that the owner wants to do. This makes sense. They say if you didn't put him shliach, miyav b'tshumah, so tshumah can be tshumah. The Torah says, how do you know shlichus? The source of shlichus comes from tshumah. It says, atem gam atem, ken tarim gam atem, tshumah Hashem. It says, ken tarim gam atem. Could just say tarim atem. You should do tshumah. What is gam atem? Gam atem means not only you, but also your shliach. The Rabbi Shluchach, that's the source of shluchah shalom kavois. And if so, if you learn from there, matem, l'datchem, shluchach, l'datchem, the shlim, it's a bila das. That das, you can't do it. So what's the case? Going to Shavi shliach v'om le'zil troim. He told the guy, go be a shliach to do tshumah. V'loi omar le'v'loi troim. Me'ani. Loi omar troim me'ani. He didn't say, please do the specific ones. The stomach of Abayis kitorum mi beinu sutor. What does Abayis usually do? Most people, and also this Abayis, he does beinunis. What's the beinunis? We know that the shear of truma is ein yafa, ein beinunis, and ein roh. Ein yafa does 1 out of 40. 1 out of 40 means 2.5%. 1 out of 40, 2 out of 80, 2.5 out of 100. Ein beinunis does 1 out of 50, 2%. Every 50 do 1. And Ein Ra does 1 out of 60, which is 1.66%. That's the measurement. Says the Gemara. So the Bava is a Torah benus. Who told you me offers? He went and did better. He did the nice ones. Bava so that's what he did. Shlomo he did not do what the Bava usually does. Homalei said the Bava is kagatz offers. Go to the nice ones. Tziyofis man was a truma. In love, ain't was a truma. The Tziyofis man was a truma. Why is that? It says Rashi. Tziyofis Almo. The goy died at the nichli, right? Sorry. Yes. What does it mean? Meaning it's considered to be that we found out that that's what he meant originally. If he means Megal Das, I'm okay. This is what I meant. Yeah, usually I do Yofa Beinanis, so most people do Beinanis. But the fact that you did it, you exactly what I did. It's a little bit of a problem because l'chura, if he doesn't know, so it's still usual midas. So you have to say over here, the little doichak you have to say this to the Rishonim is he sent the shliach. He didn't give him instructions. He really meant originally do it to Yofis. The guy did it, and he says, "Oh yeah, very good, he did it." It shows his approval for what the shliach did, and that was his original kavanah. That's why it's not usual midas.
But why in Yofis and Truma? That's what his original.
No, it shows it wasn't his original intent. Based on what he says later, it shows what he originally meant to say. The fact that he's telling somebody, why are you going to the nicest ones? He didn't want to do the nicest ones. So Meir Mazur Avashi came to the orchard of Meir Bar Yitzchak. He came the sharecropper. I say brought the sharecropper, Tam Rimoni, dates and pomegranates. They showed the kamayim and he threw in front of them. Meir Avashi ate. Mazuto did not eat from what he served because he wasn't sure that the owner is happy with what the sharecropper was getting. And calls my Ba'isik and he finds him. He tells Larisi to the sharecropper in why did he not bring the better ones? He gave him good fruits, but much better ones, and he was serious, he wasn't cynical. He was saying there's better fruits. So they continued eating, and Mazuto did not eat. That's obviously the meaning. So they're telling Mazuto, Ashte my why are you not eating? We learned in the Truma is Truma. Here it's a mitzvah. Here he's doing a mitzvah by doing a first Truma. Now here the Chur is also doing a mitzvah. He's also doing a mitzvah over here. He's feeding Rabbanah. He's hosting Zarchim. Anybody who's giving a food to a Devin Chacham is a big mile, but it's not the same level. It's not a meferish mitzvah. It's implied from the midas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But a mitzvah mamish, that's what you have to do. You're obligated to do it. That's something which is the mitzvah of truma. So when he's hosting mitzvah, wants to do a better mitzvah, then yes. But when he's hosting people, even though there is a mile to it, but it doesn't have the same level of mitzvah, so then you say ksifut. He says you're just embarrassed, so he said to get better. So shuk ksifut so dumach, he said because of his embarrassment. Says the more Toshma, another way. Right? You have fruits and dew fell on them. In order for fruits to be Mikabel Tubu, they have to have liquid fall on them, either rain or dew. And he needs to be in Bidas Habayla. The Habayla needs to agree for the liquid to be there, he's interested in it. Right? He's interested. Now we have the case that the dew fell on the fruits and the owner did not know about it. Doesn't get to him. But then when he found the fruits, the dew is still there. It's still wet. And he's happy with it. Now it's a kabel tumah. So if the tal is there and he's happy with it, that's called chiyuto. Chiyuto means it was given on water was given on the fruits. If it's dry, once it dried out, then he became happy. So that's too late. Why? Because it was very dried out. What's the reason? Because they don't say, what he's saying? Once it dried out, it's too late. But before it dried out, he shows that he's happy. So that means he was happy retroactively from the beginning. Now, the Gemara is, we could already ask over here, if that's the case, why don't you say that will be the din also when after it got dried out, right? Because once it dried out, he was very happy with the water, so he was happy from the beginning. Okay, so let's see. Says the Gemara, Shani also, what?
I couldn't say that. If it's wet.
Yeah, when it's wet right now.
He's happy, then
right. Sorry, you're right. I did something. I said something wrong. Let's take a step back. What the Gemara is now asking is exactly the point that I mentioned now. Why, when it's dry, you say it's no good? He was very happy with it. Usually he does. Look at Loshe Rashi, the first Rashi alone. I'm asking why when it dried out is no good. That's what bothers the Gemara. Says the Gemara, we don't say we don't say that. So Kasha and Rava, you don't say retroactively. Here it says ki yiten, meaning you have to give it yourself. It was done on its own. So that's why it doesn't work. It says more Yachi Reishanami. So the beginning was done on its own. It says more also Kedar Rami. Who had a question? The way you spell it is yiten. The way you read it is yutan. How you put these two together? Haketzat. It can be done on its own as long as there's the das of the body, like Mendy said. As long as he's interested in it, if it's done on its own, it's okay. It could be yutan. He doesn't have to be the one putting the water on it. But he needs to put the water midas. So even Rava that says that usually I don't need das and it attractively works, here it's different. Here it's clearly that when it's put on, I have to have das. So as Bendy said, if I have water on it, and then he realizes it, so he's happy with it once it's there. But Rava will agree over here, you don't see Yush, midas have Yush.
There's always dew.
No.
There isn't always dew.
I hear the question. Good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. Says the one, maybe there's no the hour, maybe it's a certain hour that's not sure. How do I know in a Veda that was swallowed by the river, you're allowed to take it? It says in the pasuk, you do to the donkey, you have to return the donkey, the clothing, Every Avedo will be lost from him. Umatzos. So it's lost from him and you found it. Yudash from him, Mishabudimino, Umatsud Sekolodom. It's only lost from him. Everybody else has access to it. He lost it, nobody else lost it. Yotzazu Shabudimeno Veinu Umatsud Sekolodom. Coming to exclude the one that it's only lost from him and for anybody else. Nobody else has it. It's in the river. Nobody's able to reach it. Says more of Yisur Dimidei there. Now I'm comparing. This is when you say it's mutter. So we said, when you're not allowed to take it, Aveda, when everybody else has access to it. When you're allowed to take it, when nobody has access to it. And it's compared to each other. Mate, Robin, Dis, Vasimon, Mendelais, Vasimon, Sharo. By Eter, it doesn't matter if there's a simon or no simon, it's mutter. Obviously, Robin, Dis, Vasimon, Mendelais, Vasimon, Asur. Oh. You're comparing the two. When I'm saying when in the river, do you need das to take it from the river? No. It's exercise koso. You don't have to give it back even if he doesn't know. So when I'm saying that you have to give it back, it's even if he doesn't know. And more accurately, when it went to the river, it doesn't matter if there's a simon or no simon, you can take it away. He knows, not knows, simon, no simon. In all cases in the river, you can take it. So when I'm saying you cannot take, you're talking about what a case, even when there is no simon. Even when he will find out about it, will be yush. You don't say yush, so that's a yush. Says the Gemara, to the Rava to Yuvto. That's a counter to Rava, we're praying Rava. So we pass like Abaye in 6 places in Shas, Yal Kagam, each one is a simon of one of the places. The first one is Yud. What's the Yud? Yud Shalom. Question the refresher when he asked, why is Yud first? What's the second one? Eyu Revoim and Meilov, which was Ayin, which is the second Eruvim. So why do I start with Yud with Yush? I don't start with Ayin, which is Eruvim, which is early in the chest. So there's Torah about it a little bit in the Shul Machshav. We'll talk about it tonight. Be'ez Hashem, that about the Remez and Oime Kapi Kabbalah. What does Yal Kagam stand for? Something a little bit. Why are you passing like Abaye only there? This is very important because Abaye and Rava are throughout Shas. They're statistically the most appeared Mandaomerim in Shas.
The ones who argue.
Yeah, always. Havayas Abaye Rava, the Gemara calls Havayas Abaye Rava. So when we're saying halacha like Rava always except 6 places, it's very, very. It's not just like 3-4 places. It's all over Shas wherever you go. So now the Rava was questioned. Hani Tami, does he call these days to fall in the wind? Hey, how do we eat them? Because maybe the owner is giving up. They know that there's worms, they eat them. They know it's going to fall, they know they're giving up hope. Right away, before. What about the Yisraelim that don't have, that they can't be moichel? I don't have to assume that one of the lands belongs to Yisraelim. I'm assuming the land belongs to adults. But what happens if I know for sure that there is a Yisraelim over there? Or karachtomai? What happens if the tree is covered with a fence and no worms go into it? So he's not chayshish. On the last year, you say you're right. And the only reason I'm saying is because I'm assuming that there was a yush earlier. If yush did not work or there's no yush, so you can't take it. Okay. Says in what krichos b'shusarabim aril shalei. Krichos are bundles of wheat. B'shusarabim, they're his. Even though there's a simon right now. Why? Alma kasovar. He holds. Alma kasovar simon asui ledoris lo yavesim. Yeah, there is simon right now, but someone's going to trample it. Someone's going to step on it, and the simon will be gone. So that's not a simon. That's not if there's no simon. If there is a simon, then you do have to announce it. That means he holds that simon asulidaris is a simon. So right now there's a simon. You can rely on the simon, even though eventually it'll be in the nidras. Rashi explains the reason why I have a simon because the owner is not relying on it. So he's misyash. And Rabbi says no. Some say the Rabbi and Rava on their own. Simon asulidaris Rabbi Omar will have a simon. Rava Omar have a simon. We're arguing. Rabbi says not a simon. Rava says there's a simon. Tanan krichas v'shurabim areilu shaloi. The bundles v'shurabim it says v'shusayochin netul machris. But you have to announce Echida. If there's no simin, what is he going to announce? There's no simin, they all look the same. Elalav, these simin, I'm talking about there is a simin. You can take it. If you see here, you see why the simin doesn't work because people are going to tramp on it. So there's no simin due to the rova. There's no simin. So what is he going to announce? Machris Mokoi. He will announce that he's going to say the discussion Rashi takes, but just if we stick to Rashi, that he's going to say, I found it in a certain place. You have to tell me what I found. I found an item in a certain place. So that's how you can define it. And that's how you can fit. You can say, oh, you found bundles of wheat, and there were 3 of them. Says the Gemara, Rabba holds to say a place is not a sin. You can't rely on a place. And so the Lush of the Gemara doesn't sound like Rashi. Because according to Rashi, he announces the Makkah. Taish brings up Shad that the one who lost it is going to say, oh, you found, so I found in one of those where your simon should be where you found it. Oh, you found it in that corner. He says that's not good enough for simon. Says, well, the Idmar, Makkah, Rabba, Malav, Simon, Rova, Malav, Simon. The Machlekes is Makkah, Simon or not, and depends on them. Toshma krichos which is rabim arelu shaloi which is ayochi not to machis. If you have krichos which are small bundles of wheat, so then we say which the rabim is which ayochi pick it up. But which ayochi you have to give it back. There are lumois large bundles of wheat. Then which is rabim which is ayochi not to machis. Then you have to give it back. So Rabbi Echimitar, so Rabbi Echimitar. So how are they going to explain it based on their shittas? Rabbi Echimitar is Italian b'simin. Rabbi is going to explain in the simin. He holds the simin works by. Even though it's going to be tramped upon, Rabbi Echimitar time the because he holds the mokum as a siman. Rabbi Echimitar time the siman. We talk about krichos, which is rabim harei elu shaloi. When you have bundles of wheat, small bundles of wheat, which is rabim, they are his. Why mishum the midusha? Because people step on it. It's a siman of sududars, so it does not a siman. With daf chavgim down on top. If you found these small bundles, people don't trample on it. So it is what? It's not. It's a simon. The simon is not a simon of suyadaris. The alum is if you have large bundles. Both places because they're very tall, very big. Nobody steps in it. Oh, so that's what it means. That's the difference. That's the difference between alum and krichos. Depends how much people step on it, because really the discussion is if you step on it and the simon is gone, that is the issue. That's how Rabbi explains. For Rava, the old Sudaris is a simon. How he's going to explain? There's a time in Mokr. Talk about a place. Krichos Rabbi already Shaloi. Talk about there's no simon over there. So that's why it's Shaloi, the Mitzvah. It's going to be pushed up. People walk and they push from place to place. And because there's no simon, there's no way to identify it. It's not going to be pushed from place to place. When you have a lumois, when you have large ones, so that in both places can be machis, because they're very heavy, because they're big ones, they won't be moved from place to place. And what are you going to be machis if there's no simin? We're talking about you're gonna be machis mokoim. So the question is a mokoim going to be a good indication over here for these bundles? Well, according to Rava, mokoim is good enough. Stais points out, Rava, because he holds that Simon Asul there was not a Simon, he's forced to say that mokoim is a Simon, because now they have no other way to explain the Mishnah. So it's a toss-up. You have to decide. Either you want to say Simon Asul there is a Simon, or if it's not a Simon, you have to say mokoim is a Simon. Rava says, I pick Simon Asul there, I hold mokoim is not a Simon. And Rava says, I hold that a mokum is a simon, Simon is not a simon, and based on that, they explain our Mishnah, and based on that, we explain also the Baiso. Because the difference between Krichos and Alumos will be, according to Rabbo, that we're talking about Simon Doris, so Krichos people step on, and Alumos they don't. According to Rabbo, that what we're focusing on is a makom, the place where it is, so if it's a Krichos, it's not pushed and moved from place to place. People don't step on it and cause it to move. And that's Rabbi. Sorry, if it's krichos, if people push from place to place, so you lose the mocker, you don't have a similar mocker. But alumos, which are very large, you don't push from place to place. That's what you're having. You still have a simon. Which simon do you have? The simon of mocker, because according to Rava, you're going to rely on Siman Makoim, not on a Siman Asui Lidars. And once again, just to finish the Kalut, it really goes back to Chuluz. What does Makoim mean? Does it mean the one who found it announces the Makoim? Or the one who lost it says, that's my Siman, goes in this place. We said, we'll continue tomorrow, again between Mincha Mayev, around 7:10 tomorrow.